Well, Gemini, it's September 2024, and I've got some pretty important astrological information for you this month. Let's look at where these planets are going this month, and you will see what I'm talking about. First and foremost, the new moon in your fourth house, indicating pretty big changes in your family domain right now. The way you've been interacting with your family members, in particular your mother, because this is the zone that relates to mothering, the maternal side of your family. And, of course, a new moon is a very important change, a turning of a new leaf for you. Perhaps you've been struggling with some aspect of your family life, some aspect of your responsibilities there. This gives you an opening, a key, for want of a better word, to solving those problems and to feeling good about it. The moon actually in that area is quite a strong factor because it has directional strength in that northern part, the fourth house. And so that takes place on the 3rd of September. And then you'll notice a couple of other important transits also taking place here. Mars, the prophet planet, moving into the income part of your horoscope. Unfortunately, it's in the watery sign of Cancer, so there's a bit of a struggle here. Nonetheless, you can earn well, but you may have to make extra effort. You notice here some of the challenging aspects to Mars as well. These obstruct, that's Venus, the south node, Venus, and also here we have the north. So this is what we call nodal or karmic stuff you've done in the past. You're starting to realize maybe you made some decisions that weren't all that well thought out. That's to do with this south node, what we call Ketu, here in the 5th house of speculation or impulse. But that's okay. This slowly builds in power in the sign of Cancer. And in what we call the second decan, the second 10-degree portion of the water sign, it will be the Scorpio segment, which will empower Mars. So be a little bit patient there. Maybe not this month, but next month you'll see some empowerment of that Mars, although it's in that watery sign of Cancer. That gives good strength to your income. It makes you focused on what it is you want to do. It also gives you power of persuasion, because according to some systems of astrology, the second house is what we call Vak, speech, the tongue, the power of your words. These chakras here, the throat chakra and the tongue, contain specific energy centers, and Mars activates that and gives you the power. Along with, second, this is the one here, the 18th of September, the lunar eclipse here in your 10th house. Important meaning. This was the one I was wanting to talk about along with that new moon. This really focuses on your career and public image. So who you are in terms of the way you work, the way you are perceived, your reputational value will definitely be impacted by this eclipse. And the eclipses don't always give their results immediately, Gemini. It can take a little bit of time for that to come out. There may be circumstances that hold you back. And we can see that, I've already talked about this to you in the past, having the retrogression, these retrograde planets, Saturn and Neptune, in this career area. You probably recall I was talking about the challenges you were having there, the obstructions. That could be with your bosses, it can be with the actual type of work that you're doing. So the eclipse here, I think, brings up all that stuff. It may be somewhat unconscious too. You may not even realize what's happening. You may precipitate those changes because it's happening in the sign of Pisces, the intuitive sign. It's also the sign of sacrifice, self-sacrifice. The fish are the symbol of Christianity. You may have been helping too much, your values diminished. You see what happens to the Savior. The Savior gets crucified on the cross and becomes a sacrificial lamb. So that is why I think this eclipse is going to bring up all sorts of value issues for you. We see Mars in the sign of money, which is the material value. And yes, your career and your reputation is a form of material value. But I think in your case, this is coming from self-value. How have you disempowered yourself by maybe helping too many people, not getting equity in the partnerships or the relationships? That's also shown by Venus here in the sixth house. Sixth house, that transit is on the 23rd, and that has to do with your co-workers, the way you interact with others, the type of routine that you have, your scheduling. All these sorts of things are going to be called into question to determine how much you believe you're worth as far as your public image and your reputation is concerned. You know, you need to let go of outdated emotional / professional goals or those roles that you've played in the past. And I think that is where this eclipse is going to bring to the fore some of those issues. You may surprise yourself too, because you've maybe held that down. You want to be a nice person to everyone. You don't want to be seen to be a bitch or a bastard. Okay, that's going to change now, and I think it's going to change for the better. Find out more at astrology.com.au. I've got the written text, some of the stuff I may have left out. You go, oh, he didn't tell me about my boyfriend. Well, have a look there, astrology.com.au. We've got the links there. Please click the subscribe and, like button. That'd help us. Drop me a line if you want. And I'll be here waiting for you next month with your next session, the next chapter in your life, Gemini. I hope you'll join me. Take care. Bye-bye.